Hi, namaste. You cannot practice modern yoga without practicing downward facing dog, and this is a position which can be challenging, especially in the beginning. So here is my video with a lot of details on how to approach the downward facing dog. Let's start the downward facing dog where we are at the moment. So let's try out, and from there we will make some adjustments. We will come into all four, and from here first we will look at our hands where they are, because the gaze, our eyes, is one of the best instruments for the self-adjustment. Then we will tuck the toes. We will first inhale here, and then with the exhalation we will start to lift the knees and bring the pelvis up towards the sky. And when we arrive here, we will look at our feet, our toes. They are where they are now. And let us be here for a moment without any judgment. It is about finding out how the downward facing dog feels for now. Where do I feel tension or discomfort, maybe even pain? Is there any strange sensation in the ankles, in the calves, in the knees, in the thighs, hips, lower back, then maybe upper back and shoulders, the neck, the arms, the wrists, the fingers? So these are the areas where we want and can improve. And then let us go back into all four and rest for a moment in a seated position. You can choose whatever position you would like right now, because from here, this is our starting point, all right? Without any bad feelings of, yeah, I'm not good, it feels terrible, because that's where we want to start from. And for a moment, when you are resting and digesting your experience, let me show you the two, let's say, extreme positions which you might have, like, some parts of them may apply to you, some will not, obviously. So one of the like the extreme versions is when your starting point is where you are really someone with tight muscles. So most probably your downward facing dog will look like you have a more rounded back. You struggle a little here to bring your spine straight. Your back of the legs is tight, and maybe your upper back is rounded too. So maybe it will look kind of like this. And then the other extreme will apply for people who are quite stretching their bodies, and most probably they will feel good in their downward facing dog already, and most probably they don't even watch this video. But just to show how it might look there, it might feel really good for them, but it will look like overly stretchy, overly like really bringing the pelvis up, but arching the back, bringing the chest towards the ground a lot. This is a position of like really hanging into it, and the one where we would also like to work on. I would like to emphasize three areas, and we will go through these areas one by one. The first area will be the spine and the lengthening of the trunk of the body, including the hips. The second area will be the arms and the hands, and the third area would be the legs and the feet. So let's start with the first area here. Now you can follow me. So maybe you are in seated position, maybe you will need to sit on something, but you can also do it in a standing position. Just bend your knees when you are staying here. So the downward facing dog is where we are in this triangle shape, and the top is our pelvis. These are the hips. So what is happening is that we have our front bones of the hips here, and when we're coming into the downward facing dog, this front bones are coming closer to our thighs. So this is the action which is going to happen here. And for many people, this action is not so easy when we're not bending the knees in the downward facing dog. So anyways, most of the exercises we do today, we do with the bent knees, just for the sake of the simplicity of it. So you can follow me, and now the same thing I've done in the forward fold video already. We want to move the pelvis and figure out the range of movement here. So most probably, if you have a tight back, legs and lower back, then you will start somewhere with your pelvis in the back and slowly bringing it more to the front. So when we're in the downward facing dog, we can bring our pelvis closer to our thighs. Now, when you are doing it, what we want to do at the same time, like the whole trunk of our body, it needs to be one. We are not wobbly here, not soft. Our core is engaged here. So for doing that, let us bring awareness to our pubic bone and then to our navel. And we want to bring them a little bit like closer to each other. So it's a work of the core, just a gentle one. When we are like closing here a little bit, please not too much, just if you're open here, bring it more together. And then for the people who are overly open, let's do another thing. So most of us, we will have our ribs quite open, like you see my ribs are touching my t-shirt. And then from here, let us draw these lower ribs away from our t-shirt, so we are integrated here in one line. Pubic bone, navel, like belly button, and the lower ribs are closing. Here we have a strength, we have integration, we have stability. That's what we will need, especially the most flexible of us. And when we are breathing here, we will not breathe into the front, we will breathe into the sides and into the back. If you know the feeling how you do that, if not, no worries, it will come with the time and practice. So this is where we are now. We will be more to the front in the downward facing dog, feeling the integration of all these parts of the body so we are strong. And the last thing is the head. So we will bring the chin more down and a little bit up to the back so the neck is long. Let us try it out in the downward facing dog. Don't worry about your arms and legs for now. Just come into all four. The breath helps us to be more integrated and strong. That's why we will use it now. We will inhale through the nose. And then with the exhalation, feeling first the pubic bone, the navel, the lower ribs, tucking the toes, lifting the knees and coming up here. Now, to feel where, if we are in the right position, let us now let go a little bit and start to move our pelvis, moving it back and front. If it doesn't move so much, bend the knees more or come closer with the feet towards your hands, so you can move here maybe even a little bit more with the whole spine. And then next time you exhale, one more time, pubic bone, belly button, lower ribs, and then in the end the chin towards the chest and the long neck. And we are breathing into the sides of our rib cage and into the back of the rib cage. Long and strong back. And then from here, with the exhalation, we will lower down. The second area we are looking at are our arms and our hands. So most probably the first time I told you to look at our hands, most probably you've seen them, but the way they are, because we have quite a lot of weight in our hands in the downward facing dog. Even if we want to bring this weight away from them, still it is enough weight. So it's very important that, especially practicing a lot and regularly, we have a position of the hands where we will not injure ourselves over time. Meaning that the hands are not passive, like this will be quite a passive position. And in this passive position, I have a lot of weight on the outside of my wrist. The opposite is I bring more weight in this area here between my thumb and my first finger, bringing them really, really active into the ground and then placing all the other fingers. I really press them into the mat and it takes the pressure away from the wrist. Now, I really don't care if your hands are more to the outside or maybe to the inside. It really depends on your bone structure. But what we want here is, like when we are having our hands active, we're coming into into all four again. And from the hands, we are going up the arm towards the shoulders. So just to feel, let us one more time with the exhalation, feel the whole back, like from the front pubic bone, navel, lower ribs, chest a little bit up and chin down. And then the spine doesn't move, but we are moving between our shoulder blades. Every time we exhale, we press in our hands and feel how the shoulder blades slide to the sides. This might might feel tight. This feels like there is space. And then when we are coming up into the downward facing dog now, tucking the toes, lifting the knees, lifting the pelvis, we are looking for the feeling of space between our shoulder blades. To achieve it, let us now first bend the elbows to the sides and then press in the hands and bring the pelvis more towards the legs, straightening the arms. Let us repeat it a little bit So bending the elbows one more time to the sides and then pressing into the hands. So we are straightening the arms and bringing the weight more towards the back. And if you need to, you can do it one more time, preferably with the exhalation. Now, you can release, and it can be that it still feels tight, right, in the shoulders, in the neck. So I was told, because I cannot experience it by myself, but I've heard from other practitioners and teachers that it really depends on your own anatomy what is the best action of the arms here. Some teachers will tell you you have to squeeze the elbows, but obviously there are people who profit from really opening it a little bit more to open the shoulders. So you can use your hands, and then when they are on the ground, try out. Either try to bring the arms, the hands a little bit to the inside. They will not move. It's just like the action of I want to bring my hands, like to rotate them inwards. That will open the elbows a little bit more and the shoulder blades as well. For the other people, the opposite might work. So we are turning our hands more to the inside, and this will provoke the action which might feel better in your shoulders. So let us repeat it, and you can now figure out what is the best for you. First into all four, and especially bringing more activity in your thumb and first finger. Exhaling here, preparing the spine. Then tucking the toes, coming up, bringing the pelvis to the back, and then first bending the elbows to the sides, and then trying out when you are stretching the arms. If it's better for you, the action of turning to the outside, or maybe bending the elbows and then turning the hands to the inside. And then come back. Now we've been using the hands a lot, so maybe it's time to turn the wrists, making the fists, and turn them from one side and then to the other side, because especially in the beginning when you start practicing, wrists and hands definitely bear a lot of weight. And then the third area we want to address are the legs. I would suggest definitely, as I already said, do it with the bent knees first. Now also in the beginning I told you to look at your feet. What you might have seen would be like maybe your feet are turning to the outside, and maybe they're falling to the outside a bit. So if that is the case, I suggest to start practicing with the block between your thighs. So we will come to all four and then bring a block, whatever side is the most comfortable for you, the thin one or the middle one or the widest one. And then from here, one more time, looking at your hands. So we take the chance to practice all the previous points now. Exhaling, feeling the core, engaging it so our spine is integrated, and then tucking the toes, lifting the knees and coming up here. So when you are squeezing the block, you don't have so much chance to have your feet turn to the other outside. Notice how it feels now in your legs and in your lower back. You can now one more time bend the elbows to the sides and then start to straighten the arms and keeping the knees bent. Squeeze the block. What you can do here is now to start straightening the knees a little bit, noticing if there is a difference, if there is any movement in your pelvis. We want to keep the back in this position, the straight one, the integrated one, as we had it from the beginning. But you can now explore how it feels. It will be quite a strength exercise as well to bend the knees a little bit more, keeping the block squeezed. Let us calm down again. Release. Put away the block. So this is an exercise for everyone who wants more alignment in the legs, for more strength in the legs, especially strength on the outside. There is another thing to do. I will just show it with my hands. So when our feet are on the ground, what do we want to do? Every time we exhale, we want to tear our mat apart with our legs, with our feet. So we are like really bringing the feet to the outside. It will engage the outside of the legs. Let's do that now. Coming again into all four. And then with the exhalation, tucking the toes, lifting the knees, coming up. If necessary, bending the elbows and then lengthening the arms. Looking for your most useful position of the pelvis, the spine, the lower ribs. And then on the exhalation, start to wanting tearing the mat apart with your feet. Inhale, release it. How does it feel on the outsides of your legs and outsides of your hips? And then from here, we can release one more time. And I would say starting to straighten the legs is the thing you want to do, but it's the one you need the most patience with. It will take some time if your knees are really like bent a lot and you cannot straighten the legs without rounding the pelvis. So be patient with yourself. But for now, I will show some steps and some extra exercises for the ones who want to stretch it even a little bit further. So I hope I don't need to tell you that you don't need to put your heels all the way down to the ground. First the spine, then the knees, and then the heels in the end. For people who can do that, these are the ones who really have to take care of the spine and of the core, of the not falling apart in the front, but the holding of it. So now, let's say you are coming slowly to the point where you can straighten your legs. At some point you will be able to engage your glutes. So that's something we want to have in the downward facing dog as well, so that you engage your glutes, not the glutes, the quads, The glutes are engaged a little bit by the action of pulling the feet to the outside. But the quads want to be engaged in the downward facing dog. And then with the time, when you want to come closer towards the mat with your heels, you can go in some action of bringing the heels up and down. And then two more things what you can do here. You can start to lift your toes. The balls of the big toes are still staying on the ground, but you can lift your toes, and this will stretch the calves a little bit more. Then the other thing you can do, you can place one foot in the middle, lift the other foot and place your toes on the top of your heel. Be mindful here, okay? This is especially for people who can take this kind of stretch. Please don't overdo it. You can injure yourself here. And the other kind of stretch, which I really like a lot, is again put your one foot into the middle, the other foot crosses from the back, and you bend the first foot in the knee a lot, and you start to straighten the other leg. Here the position is not symmetrical. You can stretch one side of your body a lot and do it on the other side as well. So this is less about stability, this is really about stretching here. You can also really come with your chest closer to the ground. This doesn't need to be that correct and stable. And then if you've done it with me, together let us come again out of the position. And then one more tip I would like to give to you during practicing all these things. What can help a lot is to use your blocks under your hands. Here, be mindful that there is a lot of friction between your block and your mat. If it's slippery, what you can do is to place it at the wall, like this way. Practicing with the hands on the blocks can help you to bring more weight to the back a little bit faster. It can take away the pressure from your arms and make your legs stretch a little bit faster. So here you are going to place your hands again active on the blocks, then from the all four, one more time. First inhaling, always going step by step mindfully. And then on the exhalation, bending the knees and lifting here. Again, start with the bent knees, maybe bend the elbows, and then notice how even more weight is now shifting towards your legs from your hands and arms. And from here, let us come back again. And that's it for now. Many details. You don't have to notice all of them at once. Start from the big things into smaller details, and remember the position of the downward facing dog, which is the right one for you, is the one which feels stable and which feels open, the one where you can breathe freely. If you feel tension, if you feel contraction, if it feels pinchy or achy in some places, then figure it out, go out of it, try out other things. You can bring your hands and your feet as far away as you need to, or as close to each other as well. The distance between the hands and the feet is an individual thing. So have fun exploring. This video contained a lot of details, and if you would like to explore further how all these details apply to your own body, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and we will figure it out together.